Hi, I'm Amber. In 2012, I moved to New York City with $20 and big dreams. A year and a half later, I made my Broadway debut. But then, my show closed. That's not me. That's Audra McDonald. She has 6 Tonys. I have bills. I was out of work, eating donuts, watching Real Housewives. I was depressed and wondering what is next. If I don't book another show for a month, a year, 5 years, how am I going to survive? Financially, creatively, emotionally, will I have a purpose? Will I lose my freaking mind? Join me as I chat with your favorite Broadway stars for a closer look at life beyond the stage. This is Unemployed and Working. Hi friends, welcome to Unemployed and Working. I am so glad to have Condola Rashad.
Well,
Hello. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary because
yes, we
we
are.
met when we were 17. We were fresh out of high school, ready for college, and we did a show together in Atlanta. And here we are 10 years later, like 10 years
We
later.
had a disco ball
in our dressing room. We shared dressing room. We listened to NDRE, and we had like a sign on the door that was like 30 and under club because everybody else in the show was old. We were
10 years ago.
10 years. So thank you for joining me today.
No, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to be sitting down with you.
I'm glad I can, be here.
Absolutely. So we're gonna jump in. I'd like to know, when did you settle in New York? What brought you here, and what was your plan if you had a plan?
Okay, so basically, I'm from New York originally, and I graduated from high school in 2004, and then after that, I went to college I went to Cal Arts out in California. And when I graduated, it kind of was the norm to stay out there. Like that was kind of what everybody was doing. They were staying out there. And I kind of felt like, yeah, but what I saw in terms of just starting out in Hollywood, I felt like, no, that's not going to work for me. No, I'm not about that life at all. You know, like, to me, it just looked like a whole lot of nothing and sitting around waiting for the phone to ring. And I kind of was like, well, I don't want to get out of college, fresh out of college, ready to go, and then just go to do some other job, and then just kind of be at the beach waiting for the phone to ring, and like, it's Hollywood, so it's like most of the time out there at the time, I don't know how it is now, but at the time it's like all the roles were going to already known actors anyway, so I was kind of like, and I just went to theater school, and this is California, this is not theater world, so I decided against everybody's
better judgment.
I also, the deciding factor of me coming back to New York was we had our showcase. And we had a showcase here and a showcase there. Now, I met my agents at the time here when we did our showcase. And then when we did it in LA, there was an agent, and I don't remember what his name was, and I wouldn't say it if I did, but he said something to me that was so, I actually thank him. Because I was like, and I'm buying my ticket tonight because of what you just said. He was like, and he thought he was saying something amazing. He was like, you really just stay here in LA. And I was like, why? He was like, because ethnicity is so hot right now. And I just thought to myself, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do when ethnicity is not hot anymore.
OMG.
It's so changeable. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm going to go now. So thank you for that.
Bye-bye.
You just inspired me to buy my ticket home.
Wow.
Yeah, so then I came back literally like the day after graduation. I came back with my mother, like from graduation.
Wow.
I didn't waste any time. And I got with my agents here, and then that's how, and then my plan basically was to start out in theater.
Okay.
That was like a big thing for me because I felt like, my mother is also an actress, and I felt like, okay, I have worked really, really hard to develop my own craft, and I realized and was told by people in my school that, well, it was kind of a blessing and a curse in a way, because I'm very proud of the lineage that I come from, but at the same time, even in school, I have people give me the side eye because people automatically assume that like I don't actually work for it, or that I'm not talented, or that I don't, you know, and so I didn't let that get to me, but I did want to make my own way, and I felt the best way to do that was to come back to New York and start in theater.
Absolutely. Smart. When you got back, was it quick? Was it slow? Was there a lull? How did it work?
Okay, so when I got back, I was very, very lucky, and I know a lot of people do not have this, but I was able to, as I said, I met my agents at the time at my showcase. So the minute I got back, I called them, and they're like, okay, let's go, ready to go. So I had that, and it just timing. It was just timing because it really is about timing. But I was lucky enough to be sent out for this role on Ruined.
Mm-hmm.
That was maybe about a month after I got home, and I got it. And it was just like, you know, at the time not many people knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was not going Broadway. It was, you know, it was small, but it was big for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this play I thought was amazing. So I just was like, hey, theater job, got it. And so I went on to do that, and that's really kind of what I did for a long time, because it was a co-production in Chicago, and then it came to New York. It was off Broadway, so that kind of took up my time. So I was able to just kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was able to do that. And I did that on and off for about 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
But there was a time in between. You see, because we did it in Chicago, and we came back. We did it in January for like 7 months, and then there was a break of like 9 months, and then we did it on the West Coast. But there was a little bit of a break.
We get these breaks. Let's talk about these breaks. So these breaks.
Oh yeah.
These are people call it fun employment. If that's what you prefer, that's fine. It's not always fun.
Not always fun.
But those breaks, those unemployment times, moments, seasons, can work on us in so many different ways. They can work on finances. They can work on our psyche,
finances.
our spirit, our everything. Let's talk about first internal psyche, mentally, emotionally. How has unemployment worked on you? Has it ever brought you down? Has it ever made you not want to get out of bed on some days? Have you ever been discouraged with anything? Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, it can be it can be very discouraging, and I think it also depends on. It can also depend on what came before that break. So if you have something that you feel like, okay, this is it, and that was it, and then that was it.
Yeah.
You're like,
wait a minute.
Wait, but that was supposed to be it.
Don't you know I am?
That was, or even just like, you know, can't we just keep the ball rolling? Because I'm not there yet.
Right.
I thought like, you know,
this was gonna get me there.
Right, but it didn't. So now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And so it can be a little bit like, humbling in that way, which is good. My first little period was actually like a year, and I had little jobs here and there. Like I was, you know, a guest star, which was great for finance-wise, but it wasn't actually propelling my career forward. It just was kind of. But it was the break was fun because it was after my first job, and so I was kind of at a caliber where it was like, well, you know, I did a good job on that. But, you know, people don't really know me at all, and so I can kind of just figure it out, and I'll just be fine. And I was young, so I was like 22, and so I started bartending, and I started cocktail serving.
Love it.
And a lot of people find those jobs to be just a drag, but for me, because it actually was not what we do, I thought it was really fun. I actually thought it was really fun because I knew in my heart that this is obviously not what I'm doing, and that's okay. Yeah. And because of that, I feel free in it because I was like, well, look, I don't care. I'm gonna stay here all day. Yeah, you gonna pay me to beat this drink? I'm gonna make this drink. I'm gonna make this mojito, and I learned stuff too. And it's like we realized in that time. I also realized, like, you know, we are actors, and my justification was like, well, how am I ever gonna play these roles if I don't really know what they are? Like, I can play a bartender today. I already know how to make this mojito. I got it. Like, you know what I mean? So it kind of opened up my repertoire in a way. Stick fly with the thing. We'll never be able to carry the tray. Nope. We'll never be able to carry the tray. Nope.
That's it.
That came right after I was serving from the tray. And if I had not done that, because I remember my first day on the job, I spilled champagne all over everybody at a Elle magazine party, and just whoop, the minute I stepped on the floor, and I was like, well, just want to let everyone know I was here.
Welcome.
Wow. So that break was fine now, but then what happens is that the farther you go, in a way, in some ways it gets easier, but in a way, the breaks get harder because I can't be a bartender now. Now it doesn't make sense. But I need to pay that bill. So what do I do? I don't have the leisure now of just, you know, and it's weird too, because, you know, I'm like, well, if I lived in my own world, I would. Yeah. But in where we are, it doesn't make sense Tony nominated twice now to do that.
Be behind.
Doesn't actually make sense because now it's like people would be like,
why aren't you?
What are you doing here?
Why are you giving me a Coca-Cola?
Right. And even though I don't actually care about that, it wouldn't not necessarily affect my career in a big way. So I have to think about the career before what I really care about. I really don't care. I'll serve you this Coke. Hi, you know me? Great.
I was babysitting 2 weeks ago, wiping some child's behind.
Right.
I was like, this is great.
That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. Can you help me get it right?
Have you ever had any internal struggles, any doubt, any depression? Has this gotten to you in a place where you thought, I may need to change directions, I may need to walk away, I may need to come back? Like, have you ever has it worked on your mental and emotional health in any way?
I mean, it's kind of weird too, because it's like, not only the break, but sometimes even the work can have that effect on you. Even sometimes the work that you're doing will make you feel like, I should just stop. I should really just stop, you know. I have a weird thing where I don't know whether it's my personality or whether it's just, I don't know, maybe you have similar things, but like when people meet you or when people meet me, people automatically think that I know what I'm doing. Or that like I'm completely like, you know what I mean, that she's got it together. I don't have it together. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just attempting.
Yeah.
And so I have a thing where I always feel like I'm not quite good enough, really. You know,
yeah.
And I'm very easily intimidated by people. And then because of the work I've done, people are like,
expect.
How are you intimidated? And I'm like, no, because that I've done that, but that isn't actually like I'm still a human, and I feel very much so like, you know, especially like, I mean, Amber just did a reading.
We did. It was fierce.
We'll talk. You'll see it. I'm sure it'll be in a theater near you very soon. But like, you know, I wasn't trained in musical theater. I sing. I am a singer.
She's fierce.
I am
we'll talk
trying
about that too.
You know, I have a band, and so in that context, I feel comfortable. In that world, singing with my band, I feel like I can do that. When I get in a room and it's for a musical, and there are all these people who have been trained and have these amazing belties singing for the God, my sound isn't like that necessarily, and so I always just feel a little like, I really shouldn't be here. I really shouldn't be here. And I always keep thinking that that's going to get better, and it kind of hasn't. I still have fun. Yeah. But I still have that doubt. Self-doubt is really the biggest thing that can get in your way. In my opinion, I feel like that it really is mind over matter. And once you've decided that you're not good enough, you might start to become what it is that you've decided. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's kind of that's the biggest danger I feel.
You talked about your band. Let's talk about those things that we do, not only when we're unemployed, because a lot of times we have those different outlets that we do while we're employed. But do you have a Condola-ism? Do you have something or some things that you do that help you feel grounded, that take your mind off of this crazy business? Do you teach? Do you babysit? Do you have a band? You write music? What do you do to keep yourself centered?
Well, recently, and I say recently, like in the past 4 months, because I've been pretty much on for the past 4 or 5 months now. It just seems endless. What I've discovered, because I felt actually for a while I was not grounded at all. I just felt like I was all over the place, and I just was so caught up in it, and just everything was with me, and it was just so much. And then I injured myself. I hurt my core muscles, and I couldn't work out, which was my one thing. So I couldn't go to the gym, so then I was like, oh my God, the universe is against me.
That's all I have left.
But it was all a blessing, because what it led me to, and I swear by this now, is yoga. Yoga has changed my entire perception of everything, and I did it because I didn't have anything else to do. Right. Because I was unemployed. I did it 6 times a week at the time. I found a place that had a pretty cheap situation going, and then normally you don't have the time to do that. Now I figure when I start working again, I'll probably still be able to do it, but not 6 times a week. Right. But what helped me with that is that not only did it help me with my body, but the whole practice of yoga helped me. I was able to start taking it outside of the class, and kind of like, because there are certain poses that are very difficult and they're not comfortable. Yeah. And you actually do get a sense of like, oh my God, I might start crying because this doesn't feel good. But then actually what yoga teaches you to do is like, how can you stay in that pose and just breathe knowing that like this is the moment that you're in, and there will be a moment where that will be over.
You're not gonna die.
And you can take that out of the practice. And
Absolutely.
so it's like on days where stuff is just crazy, people didn't pick up the phone. I'm like, why is the universe against me? But then I'm like, okay, wait, actually, what would I do if this were yoga? This is yoga. Life is yoga. And so this is just a moment that's not comfortable. And how do I stay present in the moment and not try to find something to distract me from it? Because that was my biggest thing.
Let's talk about your music. Has your music played an amazing role in your life? Has it changed you, helped you,
Yes.
moved you? Talk about it.
Well, I have been writing music since I was young. And it was something that, as a kid, I always wanted to do. I didn't want to just be me. I wanted to be in a band. I just had this thing where I was like, I saw No Doubt. I was like, I want to be in a band like that. And so a couple of years back, I finally decided to write all of this music down. And I had this wonderful person, Billy Mann, he's a really great guy from the music world. And he sent me out to Sweden to work with these music writers to develop this album. And so I was able to finally... I'd never been in that world. Like, I mean, I always wanted to, but I did not know what that was about. I'd never been in the studio. I didn't know any of that. And finally, I found this world where I was in control of what I put out, and I was in control of the words that I was able to put out. And so, like, because I wasn't signed or anything, I could write about whatever I wanted to write about. I could, and so that. It kind of helped me to find another part of myself that like I had known was there, but I had never really fully explored it. And then I kind of realized that my music and acting have to both exist because they kind of feed each other. And the music is the place where I'm able to, when I perform though, it actually is more nerve-wracking because I'm not speaking anyone else's words, it's my own.
Absolutely.
And so that's where music, in my opinion, is like just that much more personal, which helps in the acting because it helps you reach places and it helps you to dare yourself to go places that you didn't know you could go before. So yeah, it's been awesome. Me and the band just released the album in January. It's on iTunes.
You're gonna buy it.
The letter 9.
Condola in the suitcase. I already know.
Never the best. Yeah. So it's been great.
Cool. Cool. You got yoga. You got music. Let's talk about family.
Oh,
sorry.
yes.
Go.
I have 2 animals.
Yes.
If you can
I
have
see them on Instagram.
if you can have animals, even if it's one, I swear, there's nothing like having a crazy day and coming home and there is an animal who does not know the day that you've had and is just so excited to see you every single time you get home.
Yeah.
I mean, it really actually just helps you to brush the day off.
Family, friends, boyfriend, whatever.
Wow.
How does that affect your life?
Well, with my family, I realize this too. I'm very lucky to come from a family of artists because I realize other people who are going through the struggle don't have the support that I do.
Absolutely.
Like most people's family are like, okay, so what are you gonna do?
It's time.
And my family's like, it's fine, you're gonna be okay. Just keep going. You're unemployed and be proud of it. Like,
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, but get employed, quick now. The cake, but you know. So with the family, it's been cool because like my brothers, my sisters, they're all just very supportive. Team Condola, so that's taken care of. With my boyfriend happens to be a model who also is trying to work his way into the acting world, and so that's kind of, for the first time ever, I'm dating someone where like we're both having the same struggle, and I think for a while I kind of was not really cool with that, not with him, but just I wasn't cool with the idea of dating another actor because I just was like, oh, it can get weird, and it can get weird, but if you find the right person, it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And he's really, really supportive, and also like we go through similar struggles. Like every day we're like, I can't, my agent, I don't know. You know what I mean? So we have the same lingo, so that helps. And I think the biggest thing with in a relationship is like as long as it does not, the frustration does not bleed into the relationship.
Yes, you gotta keep it separate.
You have to keep it separate. Like there are even some times where I'll be going off and I'll be like, let me stop talking about this. How was your day?
Yes.
Let's talk about something else.
Yes.
Like there has to be the way of leaving the day and our business there. And when we come home, we can watch Family Guy.
Yes.
We can, you know what I mean? Just be human beings.
One thing that was really important to me in this series was interviewing folks of all ages. And I think you are probably the youngest guest that I probably have had and will have. Any words of advice for anybody who is at this point where we are,
Yeah.
we are both unemployed. Like, it happens. What would you tell them? Anything you're still frustrated by, still struggling with, still working through? Just anything from your heart to people out here who are in the lean times like we are.
I would say if you're in a lean time, and this is tricky because when you're in the lean times, you don't have the money necessarily for this. But I would say stay close to your craft. I think the biggest danger of being unemployed is like you're waiting, because you're waiting for something to happen, and then without realizing that like you're already going to be waiting, so you may as well put this time to use. If you can read a play, if you can work on a song, if you can go back to, I need to go back to singing lessons. I decided that I think I've forgotten how to sing properly. So
happens.
Yeah, if you don't, and I haven't been. I've just been, you know what I mean. So it's like I realized that there are certain things. It's like if you've learned something, don't let it go.
Yeah.
Learn new things. I'm teaching myself Italian and French right now.
Work.
Get it. Let's go.
Bonjour.
Let's go. Bonjour. What I mean. Love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Work on these skills.
Yeah.
Work on whatever you can, and work on something that brings you joy to work on. So that's fun still.
Before we get out of here, please tell us where we can find you, find your music, what's going on for you, all of that stuff.
Well, I just changed agencies.
Well, brava.
And
Yes.
so things have been picking up in
Good.
terms of just things that I'm going out for.
Good.
So that is all good. You know, I don't have to jinx anything. So I just kind of put myself out there.
Love it.
But in the meanwhile, Condola Rashad's album is out.
Buy it now.
Out. I don't know when this will air, but we're doing a show. Unfortunately,
I'll be there
but we're gonna have more shows.
in
so
the
you'll hear
front
more about it.
singing loud. Go ahead.
But yeah, Letter 9 is out on iTunes, and you know, hopefully I won't be unemployed too.
No, I'm so glad that you came.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna go to yoga. I'm going to read some books. I'm gonna get a puppy and a cat.
Yes!
I'm gonna take lessons. I'm gonna learn French and maybe Chinese just because.
Yes. Learn
I hope you
Chinese.
guys-
Learn Chinese. That will put you ahead of the game.
Come on, who's speaking Chinese to French?
Not many.
I'm gonna get all the jobs.
Get ahead.
I hope you guys are paying attention and taking notes. This is Condola Rashad. She's amazing. Bye, guys. This is Unemployed and Working. Have a good day.
Hurricane Eliza is about to take you out. It's over for you now.